Hey Ringside crew, welcome to the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. And now here's your host, Joe Panther III.
Hello there, wrestling fans! Welcome to another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I'm Joe Panther III, and today I have a young lady that is doing big things in the business. She's worked with like so many people, and she worked with one of my favorite promotions, Liberty Pro Women's Wrestling. You can definitely check them out and get some of their your matches from them. But we're not talking about Liberty Pro. We're talking about this lady today. Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside welcome to Chelsea, the mother. Welcome, Chelsea. Well, welcome.
Hi, hello.
Awesome. We're in the kitchen with you guys today. What are you making?
So as Chelsea, the mother, my mom duties never stop. And unfortunately, a lot of times I find myself working and doing mom stuff at the same time. So right now I'm working on some breaded chicken, and we're going to be making a basil pesto sauce to go with it. Some roasted broccoli and quinoa for dinner today.
I definitely have to put a hashtag high love food in when I title this video.
I know. Apparently, you came for a wrestling interview and you're getting food mixed in with wrestling today.
And you got it. I didn't mention this before we were recording. I love food, so you're making my happy bubble wrestling and food. Like, they're hugging. They're like, yes, we're hanging out today. We're on the couch. So
You're
Chelsea,
do this to be in person, and we'll just turn it into a cooking wrestling show.
You have me with the apron, and I'm like the one that's like, I'll be getting deep into it. I'll be like, yeah, Joe, why are you saying yeah when you're doing it? This is so good, yeah. I'm like, what's his face? The little chubby guy that goes, yeah, when he eats the food. That's me. That's me. So Chelsea, how did you get into this business?
That's a good question, because it was very kind of random for me, honestly. I guess the backstory on it is that I used to be a competitive cheerleader, and I was really like athletic all through my life, and doing gymnastics and tumbling and throwing people my size above my head. I ended up aging out of it, and I even coached for a few years, but then I got into radio as my career, what I wanted my future to be. I just loved being in front of people. So when I say competitive cheerleading, I'm not talking about like football games or, rah rah on the sidelines. Like, we were like throwing people above our head. We were going to state, national, regional competitions, traveling in all these different states, and fighting against the best teams like all around, for the medals and the first place trophies. So after I aged out of it, like, yeah, radio's great, radio's fun, but it just wasn't the same rush as stepping through the curtain and getting in front of a couple thousand people and having them all cheer for you. So if you're used to doing that for so many years of your life, you miss it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was boxing a couple years, like I got into boxing a couple years ago, and they came up and told me, they were like, hey, like, you're picking up on this pretty well. Would you be interested in boxing competitively? Well, I toyed with the idea. I went to a boxing match, and within the first like 2 matches, I watched a girl get her nose broken, and I was like, yeah, this isn't for me. But it did kind of start to spark that idea of doing some kind of fighting professionally. So after mindlessly scrolling Instagram one night at 2 a.m, I come across a post from Natalia, Natty Neinhart, and she was endorsing this professional wrestling school in Tennessee from Dr. Tom Pritchard called JPWA. And it is ran by Dr. Tom Pritchard and Glenn Jacobs. So I was like, whoa, this is really cool. And then my brain goes back to the thought, where they were talking about doing some kind of fighting professionally. And I was like, now what if I just did this instead? Because it's got the fighting aspect, but it also brings some of that, you know, glitz and glam, let's be honest here, that I've missed for years. And I could use some of my prior athletic experience, doing this, like body slamming somebody, putting them above your head. A lot of that, you use the same muscles, the same motions to get the people up there. So I I filled out an application, and next thing I know, I was moving to Tennessee.
Mm. So, like, after your like last big like practice you had at Jacob's school, what was it like to like step through the curtains for the first time?
Oh my gosh, it was a feeling that I missed. Even though I had never. Oh, my oven's preheated.
There
Uh,
you go.
Even though I had never done it wrestling before. This was my first show. We had a graduation match, and we did our graduation match with Joe Kazana Promotions. So it was a big show that, we started out on. There was a good amount of people there, for my first match. And it felt like I had been doing it my whole life. It felt natural. It felt like this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. It was just an amazing feeling being back in it, and back, I call it back in the action, back in front of people. And it's definitely like an adrenaline rush. It's a high that people chase a lot.
So, like, with you being in the business and like you've seen, so you've been with a lot of different like older and younger wrestlers. Like, who would you say would be the one wrestler if you had to be in a foxhole with? Who would you think you would want to be in a foxhole with?
In a foxhole, what do you mean by that? By like getting to hang out with them for a while, or?
Yeah, that if you had to go camping with them and like go on a camping trip, you have to pick. I know you didn't want to do the Mount Rushmore, but
No,
like if
no,
you had to go
no.
on a camping
That's a
trip,
good question.
yeah, who would you want to go at? If you had to pick like 5 ladies that you've been in the business with and you've been like been with and been in the dirt and the like all the like within the business that you've
Mm-hmm.
been in, who would you with 5 female wrestlers you can go on a camping trip with?
Okay, so they have to be the female wrestlers.
It could be male too, like it could be like a male hang out male and female trip for the weekend.
Well, if we're going male, I'm pulling Dr. Tom with me because
Okay.
he was my coach for about, well, while I was there doing, hold on, let me adjust this. I gotta wash the chicken off my hands. He was my coach for,
Always remember to wash your
first
hands, everybody.
part of. Is that messing with the audio?
No, I'm saying I'm telling the audience don't forget to wash your hands.
Oh yeah, you gotta get the chicken off your hands. You don't want to get salmonella.
It's like a dude in the kitchen. I should have titled this "Dude in the Kitchen" at Ringside. I think I may change the title "Dude in the Kitchen."
Anyone who has kids that watches this will 100% understand it never stops. But yeah, I would have to go with Dr. Tom because he was there for the very start of my career. He helped me get my start. He helped me learn a lot of what I learned today as far as my knowledge with wrestling goes. So he has stories for years, like not days, not hours, not weeks, for years. The stories that I hear from Dr. Tom are amazing. I would also pick Becky Lynch because, aside from both of us being moms, she also trained with Dr. Tom. So the two of them together would be I would just love to hear the conversations that they have. And then the stuff that I would learn from her. She's one of my favorite female wrestlers. So I think that would be fun. So that's 1, 2. The Bella twins.
Okay.
We're bringing the Bella twins with us because, also hearing their stories. And some of the things. So Doc actually trained them too. He told me, because I mentioned to him that, I liked them. I think the twin magic thing is so creative. And he told me that he got them when they were 16 years old. And I was like, wow, because I started this at 29. And I'm like, I feel really late to the game. But hearing, they just seemed like super fun. And then hearing their stories would be great. And then I'm gonna have to go with my other coach, EC3. He can, that him coming with us, that would be one of the best camping trips ever if we got all of us in a group together and we're out camping. Yeah, just aside, like, yes, the wrestling knowledge, yes, everything you're gonna hear and you're gonna get, but aside from all that, two of them I know for a fact are great people, and the other three seem like they would be really great people.
Yeah. So, like, let's go into it with your matches. Like, if like a lot of people, I like the East Coast wrestling style, like wrestlers that I work around, I like fans and stuff like that. If you had to describe Chelsea the Mother to them with 10 words, how would you describe yourself to get them all riled up and they want to like be a fan of yours?
That's a good question. I haven't really described that like in specific words yet. So quirky. I think quirky would be a good one. Definitely on the baby face side of things. Fun. She's quirky, she's fun, creative, um, sassy. Sassy is definitely in there. Um, a little bit sensual. Not even gonna lie. We throw. It may not look like it right now, but we do tend to throw a little bit of a sensual sassiness into the character, but we do it in like a very subtle way. So it's not super in your face. I try to do things that'll go over the tops of I pull a Disney, stuff that goes over the tops of the kids' heads. But
Yeah, it's like, oh, look at that. Oh no, that did not mean this. It meant
yeah,
that.
but then the parents catch it and they're like, "Whoa, wait, what?" Like
Did
that.
I just see like Little Mermaid? Like you could, she showed a little too much when she got her clothes run away. Like is she naked on the beach? Jeez.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So, I don't even know how many words we were at right there. But then also there, aside from like the fun, charismatic side of Chelsea the Mother, she's also tough. She's representing the single moms and the moms who have had to go through so much in their life to get to where they are. And to try to be a symbol for everyone out there who is constantly trying to fight that battle of trying to like overcome, you know, all the obstacles life throws at them and then navigating it while you have kids. So that is the other thing that I want my character really to come through as and symbolize. Like, yeah, she's fun, she's creative, she's sassy, she's sexy, but she's also, are we allowed to cuss on
Oh
this?
yeah, you can curse.
She's also a bad bitch, like she
Yeah.
also is tough and handles the stuff life throws at her. And, I'm in there lifting weights with the guys and, keeping up with a lot of the in ring cardio and conditioning that we're doing. So, aside from being like the fun side, there's also a really strong, tough side to the mother as well. And I think that's what kind of makes it such a good blanket statement because right now everyone's like when the females are killing it, they're always like, oh, mother, like, oh, she's mom's mothering or whatever they say, and that's kind of what we're coming through with. We're trying to show all the aspects of being a single mom and all the aspects, but like I'm still me, but here we are, we're out here, we're owning it, and I want it to be represent that strength for people going through it. And I want to be, someone who others look up to and say, hey, she's doing it, she did it, she found a way, I can do this too. Everyone who's out there going through rough times in their life, like there is a way to get through what we're going through. So, yeah.
So if you can make a stable MWO, Mom World Order, what women's wrestlers in the indie scene, not wrestlers from, like, I'm not saying I would love to see Becky in your stable. She'd be the mouthpiece, I think. If you get moms from the indies that you've worked with, that you know that would be like, that'd be perfect on your team, that would turn on you, who would you have in the Mom World Order?
Oh, easy first one, Mama Hannah.
Okay.
Uh, I love her. I had my second match with her, and she, was rocking the mama thing like way before they wanted me to start accentuating my mom's side of in wrestling. But she is tough. She's also a bad bitch, and I
You need to
think
have her on the pod. You need to tell all the ladies about tell the tell the wrestlers that that I don't know about, dudes at ringside, because I've had people that I've seen in Liberty, I've seen on the scene in the southern states that I never got a chance to message because their links are never on Instagram.
yeah, she's coming to Liberty this month, and when I saw that the lineup at Liberty this month, I'm so mad that I'm not on it. I'm in July and not June's, because I am friends with so many people that are there in June, and I'm like going through and I'm like, oh, that's my girl, that's my girl, that's my girl. So yeah, anyways, Mama Hannah, she's gonna be there in June, and she's great. I love her. She's definitely in my Mom World Order group.
You
And
like that, Mom World Order,
I,
MWO?
I like that a lot. um I also would have to pick in my tough chick group, if Bashley Bones.
I love Bashley. Oh, I
Yeah,
love her.
her and I are super tight. I love her. And aside from that, she's hot. She's got it. She's a derby girl. She's just got that tough gruffness to her. And she has, been a stepmom. And she like mothers me. And she's not even that much older than me. But when we're like together, she's always the one with like the cooler full of snacks. She's always trying to feed me and just like make sure we're taking care of at shows. So she definitely falls into the Mom World Order group.
That's another one you need to tell her that Joe wants to have her back on, because I miss her energy. Like, she know it's funny. She got me obsessed with the word Buc-ee's. Like, she got me obsessed. And I'm from Pennsylvania. My sister is from Brooklyn, New York. And
That's
she had, yeah, my sister had so long story short, I was with my sister last weekend. And we're going to go to eat dinner or something like that. I look down in the car, I get in and buckle my seatbelt and look down. And she gets in, she's like, what? She's like, what? She grabbed the scrunchie off and she straightened. I was like, that's a Buc-ee's one. And she's like, how the hell do you know that? I'm like, interviewing wrestlers from the South. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, I know that beer anywhere. That's not really, but I know that little guy anywhere. I'm coming to the Carolinas, so that I told my parents, that's the first thing I'm looking for. I'm looking for Buc-ee's. Got to go to a Buc-ee's and get myself a Buc-ee's something, because
yep.
all the girls, all my male and female wrestlers, Joe, you got to eat at Buc-ee's. It's so good. It's so good. I just sounded like an old Brooklyn guy. Got to go to Buc-ee's, Joey. Yeah. So yeah. So like, if my fans want to buy anything of yours, like 8x10s or like stickers, anything, do you have any of that stuff yet?
I did when I used to go as Celeste. So when I was Celeste, we had T-shirts and we had things like that. But as I've been rebranding and becoming Chelsea the Mother, I paused on that because I don't want to sell them something that is going to be irrelevant or different in like 3 months. So
Yeah.
we were kind of waiting until we fully did like the full debut of this character, and once that kind of launches, then, I would, like to have t-shirts and stuff like that. But there are 8x10s available. I have plenty of photos for anyone to choose from. They could always just message me and I will be more than happy to mail it to them.
Awesome. Before we go, if there was any kids that wanted to get into the business, they do sports and they watch this stuff all the time. They go to the shows with their parents and they want to get into business. They're interested. What kind of advice would you have for them?
Don't wait. Do not wait. I waited after I started thinking about it. The way I tell the story makes it sound like it was very instant. It was about, 10 months, which I guess in the wrestling world is still pretty instant, before I started training. But I wish, Joe, that I would have done this years before I did. So don't be intimidated by your age. I guess there's two forms of advice here. Like, yes, if we're talking to kids who want to get into it, if you're 16, 17, start now, because by the time you get to be like 24, 25, you're going to be killing it. Look at Kenzie Page. I
Yep.
trained with her and Kylie. Kylie was graduating high school. I mean, that's how funny it was. Like, we're training together. Here I am, 29 years old, and the girl who's graduating high school is showing me how to do hammer locks and top wrist locks and arm ringers and things like that. And now she's absolutely killing it. So, like, start yesterday. Start as soon as you can. And then the other thing is don't be intimidated by your age, because that was me. I was like, am I too old to start this? Am
Am I
I?
too old to be here? Like that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. Like everyone else in my class that I was training with was like in their early 20s and their teens. There was one other guy who was my age, and we were always laughing that we felt like the grannies of the class. But don't be intimidated by that, because again, time's just going to keep passing and you're going to just keep wishing that you had done it. So just start, just do it. And you'll find out very quickly if this is or isn't for you. But I'd rather find out sooner than later than let 5 years go by and be like, oh, I wish I would have done that, because then, like, how far could you be with it if you had just started and stuck with it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I totally get you. Well, Chelsea, I want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Just when you're done with your food, take a picture of it for me, so I can be like, "This is what it would look like," and I'll post it when this episode airs. I'll post it with the poster. Like, this is what it looks like. Like,
yes, yeah, because you saw it as we were breading the chicken, wrapping it up, put it in the oven. It's got to cook a little bit, and then I'm gonna
yeah.
sauce shortly after we hang up.
Yep. Well, I'm Joe Panther the Third,
I'm Chelsea the mother.
and we will catch you in the next one.